Hi, good evening, and I know you can't see me. It's dark out, and I'm just heading off to work here, and just thought I'd put some of these thoughts out as I consider our situation, where we are as a nation, and kind of try to get back to a sense of order. You know, when the people that first came here to settle this nation did so under the crown. They came here. They were English citizens. They were not yet Americans, and so they brought with them the rule and law of the crown. And of course they came here for freedom, because at that time under the crown there really wasn't freedom and rights of the people. You know, it was an aristocracy. You know, the elite had all the power. They oppressed the poor. You know, there were no rights as what we know of today as being rights, like the Bill of Rights. And even though the Magna Carta was supposed to be the rule of law, the common law of the day, just as all governments have broken treaties or contracts with the people, so did the ruling class of England break the Magna Carta with the people. And it's for this reason that our framers did what they did in writing the Constitution. It's for that very purpose that they penned the Declaration of Independence the way that they did. And you have to remember that these were English citizens. And you know, in the second paragraph of the Declaration of Independence, where it talks about, you know, when a long train of abuses in a government that usurps an authority, it's the right and the duty of the people to abolish that government and institute a new one. And they were talking about the very government that they were citizens of, and that they were English citizens. So for us today, you know, we're in the same situation. We're American citizens. We have a government that has a long train of abusing authority, usurping its authority, overstepping its boundaries that they're under in the Constitution, that's written in the Constitution, which limits their power. And so it is the right, it is the duty of the people to abolish that government, to throw them off, and to institute a new government. And we do that any way necessary. You know, that's an open-ended statement there, that we do that by any means necessary to throw them off. I mean, my goodness, the framers went to war over it. They went to war over it. I mean, it was a bloody revolution in order to fight for freedom, individual freedom. And guys, I'm amazed today at how many people who would rather live under tyranny, and maybe it's because they've never really understood freedom. Maybe they've never experienced it. You know, I used to go to the mountains a lot, man. And to just go up into the mountains and to hike and to fish and to hunt and to camp and explore and wander around and not, when I was living in the mountains, I didn't have, those worries back in those days. And just a lot of this stuff and these thoughts never really crossed my mind back in those days of the tyranny and the oppression that we live under. And it's because I guess up in the mountains it is a little different. And so the whole point of this video that I want to make is the people have the right, the responsibility to fight for freedom. And I know I'm kind of beating a dead horse, but man, what kind of an inheritance are we leaving our children's children? And you know what's funny is I still talk to a lot of drivers, and it's interesting that I have yet to find one person, not one, who is pro-Hillary, pro-Bernie Sanders. And color isn't an issue here. Black and white both that I've run into absolutely detest the person sitting in our White House. That's our White House. It belongs to us. That fence doesn't even belong there. That's our White House. That's to keep us out. Think about it, folks. That is public property paid for by the people. I don't know what part of this don't the trolls and these liberal idiots not get. And even during the revolution, there were those who still sided with England. There were those who wanted to remain under British rule, under the crown, under the thumb of dictatorship. And I don't know, but those people have an electrode loose in their brain somewhere that they just don't want to live free. Well, I have this to say to you people who would rather live under a tyrannical government. Move to a country like Iraq, Iran, China, Russia. If you want to live under a bunch of rules and laws and codes and statutes and regulations, move to a country that affords that. Here in America, we want to live free. And free means that as long as I'm not harming anyone else, I can do whatever I want. My freedom ends at the nose of another person. And that's true freedom. And I don't think people appreciate or understand the depth of tyranny that we're under in this country. Oh, you got your Xboxes and your TV and your phones and all your materialistic goods. But let me tell you something. When push comes to shove, you're not really free. We're not. When you're not allowed to collect rainwater anymore, you're not free. When you're not allowed to live off the grid because they'll take your home like they did the lady down in Cape Coral, Florida, you're not free. Who is the government to tell me what I can and can't do on my property according to the codes? I'm allowed to have 4 hens. That's it. 4 chickens. Well, I've got more than that and a rooster, and I'm getting ready to get goats and turkeys. And I dare these people. I dare them to step 1 foot on my property because it's none of their business. It's none of their business what I do on my property. As long as I'm not harming anyone else, it's none of their business. Guys, I hope people wake up and realize that we have been duped, and we're living in a time of absolute despotism and government control. All right, have a good night. Hope you enjoyed the video. Bye.